Hello Gemini, welcome to your horoscope. This is for Gemini Sun as well as Gemini Risings and progressed Gemini Suns and progressed Gemini Risings. Okay, so hello, welcome. Happy motherfucking birthday, Gemini. Oh my god, what a year for you. You have Jupiter in your sign, finally, has just moved into your sign. What a blessing. What a goddamn blessing. So for you guys, this week, you just got so much between 10th, 11th, 12th and 1st. So for you, it's all about the career and your identity that you're building through this career, through who you're becoming, through your values, through you actually becoming it feels like you're becoming a more yourself again. I feel like Gemini, things have felt a little bit off. I mean, you had Mars retrograde in your sign at the end of 2022. That was not comfortable. Beginning of 2023 was not fun, especially December of 22 was not good for you. So it feels like with this Venus and Sun Cazimi happening at 14 degrees of Gemini, this is where that Mars did retrograde over. So I think it was around the 11th and 12th of December is when Mars was actually retrograding through this part of the zodiac. And so I feel as though this week is going to be bringing up maybe some of the challenges that were brought up around then. So maybe there is something to do with your identity and how you're being perceived, especially with this link over here that you have between it feels like this trine between the Sun, Venus, and the South Node and and Lilith. It feels like there's like been the way I'm hearing it is it like attempts at your light. Like it feels like people have literally taken shots at you and your identity and who you are as a person, and it's been really quite difficult. Especially, look, I got a best friend that is a Gemini, and she fucking had I remember her telling me a story I can't remember exactly when it was now, but it was either at the beginning of 2023 or whatever, but she went through a really hard time with her partner's family during that retrograde. And so I feel as though there's this like push that we're sort of receiving with this 5th house. It's kind of like, and Libra and Lilith, it's kind of like, what are other people thinking about you and your and what it is that you're actually building and what it is that you're actually doing? Because I feel like some people might not agree with you. Some people might even be looking at you like they just don't understand. With with Lilith being conjunct the South Node in your 5th house, it really is you could potentially be like overemphasizing, I suppose, the relationships or the love story that you're sort of wanting to have, and it's more so you needing to have, with this 11th house North Node, it's more so you really needing to have a grip on who it is that you're becoming and going towards that and having drive and taking action. I feel like with this Lilith and the South Node, it's like things have been really orientated towards relationships and having fun and being with friends and just connecting with love and like all that sort of stuff, and there's nothing wrong with all that, but you're really in an energy at the moment, Gemini, of really needing to like go hard. I feel like I literally just heard go hard or go home. So it's really an expansion for you into becoming really really motivated towards where your career is actually going to lead you. I feel like with Saturn in the 10th, it's very much like this damn it, Gemini, you got the victim coming out. I was gonna say it's very much this feeling of like not maybe wanting to actually take the reins and take control, because Pisces is a bit of a flaky energy, right? And so it might not want to be fully activated and putting ourselves out there and being seen. It's a little bit more of like a reclusive sort of energy, even though Pisces rules the media and rules screens and that. It's kind of like wanting to put a mask over ourselves. It's a filter. It's wanting to be looked at differently than who and as you actually are. It says the victim archetype says, I'm even actually finding that for the first 2 readings I felt extremely articulate, and I'm struggling with my articulation in this reading. So that could be having Uranus and the moon conjuncting in your 12th house this week makes things a little bit difficult to explain, makes it feel a little bit difficult for you to connect with people and to talk, maybe even to understand what it is that you're emotionally moving through. It can feel very confusing. It could feel like you're not entirely sure why you even feel a little bit off, but you are feeling off, you know what I mean? So the victim archetype says prevents you from letting yourself be victimized or victimizing others. Shadow attributes is playing the victim for positive feedback in the form of pity, inability to maintain personal boundaries. So that actually really makes a lot of sense when we're talking about this South Node Libra Lilith conjunction in your 5th. It's really about you needing to have personal boundaries at the moment, because it feels like in the past there might have been like this emphasis, especially with Pisces in the 10th. It's a little bit like, oh, someone else will come and do it, you know what I mean? Like, I don't need to have like a powerful career because someone, you know, my partner does, or something like that. And it's really, you're being dragged into this energy of having to do the work in your own way and having to do things in a way that really builds your own sense of self and your own sense of legacy with this Sun Venus Cazimi. I think that this Cazimi is actually really going to help you no longer be a victim to the circumstances that you're in, especially with career. Some of you guys could be feeling like a victim in your career, and so it's like you with this North Node, Chiron, Aries, it's really about you needing to like take the reins and take charge and build this identity and really rejoice in it, because Jupiter's in your sign now. So that means you can really rejoice in having this this spotlight on you in a way, even though Jupiter hates being in Gemini. Jupiter doesn't like Gemini at all. Jupiter's home over here in Sag. So, you know, Jupiter being in Gemini, it's really difficult because Jupiter wants to focus on everything else out there. Wants to go traveling, wants to go exploring, wants to try this, wants to try that. Whereas Gemini is very much about the curiosity, about the little things that are right in front of us. So it's about you really expanding on what it is that's already around you and being able to find a sense of joy, excitement, fun. Fun is the word that I'm getting for you, and having fun with yourself. Having fun, even like this might be like you actually struggle to be on your own. Especially with the South Node Lilith 5th house, it's like you don't know how to have joy on your own. You are constantly sort of looking for other people to bring you joy. It's like an example would be you can't just take yourself to the movies to see a movie that you really want. You need to wait for your brother to be free, your sister to be free, your dad to be free, you know, someone to be free to come with you, or you need to do it as a big group and make it a big thing, when the reality is you are allowed to go on your own. You might actually find that you have a lot of fun going on your own. So, you know, this is like I'm feeling like you've been sort of like in this energy, and it does feel very career based because you've got you know, you've got Saturn and Neptune in your 10th house, and Neptune's been on the cusp of your 10th house and moving towards your 11th. So that's a tough shift, because it's kind of like the illusion for the past fucking since 2011 has been your career. You're like, what am I doing? I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. What the fuck am I doing? This is actually making me see, my friend. I hope you watch this, Emily, because I'm actually seeing this so clearly. It makes sense why you've been so confused. Anyway. That's just for my bestie, no one else. Anyway, it's really feeling like you kind of taking your power back in a sense, because like I was about to say, Neptune has been in Pisces since 2011. So since 2011, you probably felt like you had more of an idea of what you wanted to be before then. So, you know, like what are we year? Are we in now 2024? So like you probably 15 years ago had a better idea of what career you wanted than 10 years ago, than 5 years ago, you know? That's when things started getting really, really foggy. And so having Saturn here, he's trying to ground this career back into reality. He's trying to ground this back into something that you can actually move forward with and do and feel very excited about and very passionate about and very, you know, pleased with yourself. It's feeling like you're needing to like be proud of yourself and proud of how far that you've come and proud of the choices that you're making. This Jupiter trine between Pluto and Jupiter in Gemini and Aquarius, it's between your first house and your 9th house. So it's really about you changing up your beliefs and who you are based on, you know, a massive awakening as to where it is, how far out you can actually go, you know? I think Gemini, you actually tone your Gemini shit down. I feel like you guys actually try and like stay cool. You have fourth house Virgo. It's like, you know, you try and be cool in your emotions and cool and like, you know, you try to micromanage things in your own little weird Gemini way. And it feels like that's kind of like come to a point where it's time to just like let yourself flow a bit. It's time to let yourself just actually get excited. I feel like this is mostly feeling to me with this Pluto 9th, Jupiter 1st, is it's like, can you get excited about where this career might actually take you in the future? It doesn't have to be right now. That's the thing with all this Gemini. It's like, and you know, bloody Gemini, you want everything to happen right away. As soon as you think about it, you want it to happen. It's like an instant gratification type of energy. And the hardest thing for you is this fucking 12th house, Uranus, Taurus, where it's like, no, we actually need to like change things slowly. We need to change things subconsciously before we're able to change things physically, if you know what I mean. It's like, this is you having a change in belief and a change in the way you see yourself, which actually leads you to be able to being able to change things physically, if you know what I mean. So powerful week for you, Gemini. Very powerful week. You also had the Addict card coming out, which says helps you recognize and confront addictive behavior. Shadow attributes is compromises integrity and honesty and allows an addictive pattern to have authority over your inner spirit. So we did actually get this in the collective reading as well. So this is definitely like Gemini, you guys are the star of the show because it's your season anyway, and we got all these planets in you. So everyone's looking at you, Gemini. Are you able to bring yourself out of an addictive pattern of seeing yourself as the victim, with Neptune being in Pisces and making that semi-sextile to Mars that's in your 11th house? Are you someone that likes to receive pity from other people, you know? And you might not even be fucking realizing that you're doing that. It's like, what example can I use? It's kind of like, say you're in high school and you know you've just lost your dog, right? And so you go to school and you know, you tell your friends that you've lost your puppy, and everyone starts like showering you with love and attention and praise and all that sort of stuff, and you really like enjoy that because of course it feels good when you're going through something. You want to be taken care of and nourished, but then it starts to like, you know, you start to play on that. Like then you start to be kind of like, oh, well, you know, also like my cat's not good either, and my dad's sick, you know. It's kind of like you start to play on that and not even realizing that you're doing it, but you just really like the reactions that you're getting. And so it's like you needing to come into this energy now that's like, yeah, okay, my dog died, but I'm able to bring myself out of this sad hole now, and while I'm open to the people around me's condolences and their cuddles and their love and them loving on me and all that, the truth is that my mental stability comes from me. It comes from how I'm treating myself, and I don't need anyone to be pitying me. I don't need anyone to be viewing me in a certain way, and I don't even want to be looked at as the victim anymore, you know? I don't want to be looked at as the one that's always like being shat on by everyone else. I want to start being the person that's in fucking control, you know? That's why you've got all of this energy in your first house at the moment. So it's really about you building into your own passion, especially with this Cazimi trining, sextiling this North Node in Aries. That's a really, really beautiful aspect because it's about you seeing the action that you really need to be taking moving forward and with who you're becoming, because it's really about you taking action on your career, but also not with this Chiron in Aries in your 11th, but also not like being completely like overruled or overwhelmed or just too caught up in what your peers are thinking and saying about what you're doing. I'm literally like, this whole reading is making me think of my best friend, and just like about how she's got to deal with so much shit from the peers in the apprenticeship that she's doing, because, you know, it's just the type of apprenticeship that she's doing. It's fucking insane. And so all these people that are also doing that sort of apprenticeship, and all the group that she's surrounded in now, they are also sort of like judgmental, and it's very difficult for her to try and navigate that energy. And so for you guys, like, it's really about you learning to navigate this world in your own value, you know? It's like, well, fuck them. You know, you got Libra in the 5th house. It's don't allow your joy to be dictated by what other people are thinking or saying about you. Basically, that's just what it is. And Gemini can really struggle with that because Gemini, you're an air sign. You know, it's fucking hard. Just is what it is. Like, you guys love to talk, you love to communicate, you love to hear what everyone has to say, you like to think about all that stuff, so it can get overwhelming sometimes when you let too much of it, you know, have too much weight on you thinking about who you are, you know? Who you are is defined by you. Whoa, your cards jumping out everywhere there. So we have the Chariot in reverse. And that's the thing, you guys have been like holding back on your Chariot. It's time to like really go. I feel like you guys have been like putting in the work and putting in the effort and doing the thing, but maybe like your energy hasn't really been there. You've still been questioning yourself. Yeah, definitely. The Moon and the Seven of fucking Cups. This is literally being so uncertain. So I feel like there's definitely still uncertainty that's coming out around your career this month. And around where it is you're going and around your identity and who you are now. It feels like there's such a shift in you that you're almost like, who the fuck am I now? Like, whoa! Like, I feel like that Mars retrograde really, like, smashed you guys, and now it's, like, trying to come back into who I am. But, like, totally reborn, totally different than you've ever been before. So it is with this Moon and the Seven of Cups. It's very much a time to embrace maybe the fact that you don't know everything, and that, you know, it is... Well, I mean, Gemini's actually pretty good at that. You guys are very curious anyway. But, like, it's just... being okay with being a little bit of a baby in this new career, being a little bit of a baby in this new version of yourself that you're putting out there. You're not going to have it all figured out all at once. It's okay. Don't rush. You know what I mean? Two of Wands is coming out as your last card. So it is about putting plans into place. It's about putting this energy in motion and looking at the horizon for where it is that you're going. Yes, there is still some distance to cover. There's still a lot to do. But this week is really an opportunity for you to get clear and to really have a beautiful breakthrough on connecting with this like new identity and this new me, you know? It's like giving me the energy of like just growing up and maturing and being like, okay, well, that was like teenage version of me and this is like adult version of me now, if you know what I mean. So, Gemini, I think that was it. That's all. Oh no, we didn't pull you. Okay, one more card. I knew there was something I'd missed. One more card, Gemini. They're not jumping out for you. We have fruit-backed flying fox. Kindness with strategy and red fox at the bottom of the deck. Ooh, two different types of foxes. Interesting. So kindness, being kind to yourself, I think, first and foremost, but also being kind to the people around you, being kind to the people in your environment. But maybe your strategy is killing with kindness, you know, instead of, like I was saying, like in the example of my friend, like with her peers maybe being judgmental and stuff, like maybe it's about just killing them with kindness. Maybe it's about not having to throw in the towel or be the victim or play any of those cards. It's about just being kind to yourself and moving in your own strategic way, and you just moving in a way that feels like it's right for you and like feels like the next like smart right direction, you know? It's about like, this is funny because the strategy card is so similar to the Two of Wands, where it's about making plans and moving forward and putting energy in motion and getting shit done. So this is really a week for you to get shit done, to put your best foot forward, is what I just heard. Because it is a powerful, powerful time for you. It's your season. The sun's back in Gemini, you know, it's your solar return month. Jump into it, guys. Jump into the fucking deep end, you know? I also should probably say that if you want a solar return reading, check that out through my website. I have solar return readings for the year ahead. So if you want to look at how this year is actually going to be affecting you specifically, hit me up and we'll pump you through a good old solar return reading. So I love you guys. I really hope this helped. Make sure that you listen to your channeled song as well. And I will see you in the next reading, Gemini. Peace.